Most people believe passive income is the key to effortless wealth. But is that really true? Today, I'm going to reveal why passive income might not be as easy as it seems and what you need to know before buying into the dream. When it comes to passive income, most people fall into one of two camps. Group 1 thinks the idea of living off passive income is a total scam. They believe you need massive amounts of money to generate any real income that would make any noticeable difference. For them, passive income seems more like a dream than a reality. Then there's Group 2, who believes passive income is the ultimate key to financial freedom. They see it as a crucial step towards living life on their own terms. Now, here's the thing, most people fit squarely into one of these two groups, but I want to share my perspective with you because I think there's a middle ground that makes sense for the rest of us. I see passive income as a safety net, something that supplements your main income. For the average person, it's incredibly difficult to generate enough passive income to cover all of your expenses and retire early. Let's do the math to break it down. Let's say you have $1 million in cash and you're getting a 5% return on that, maybe from a high-yield savings account, a certificate deposit, or a treasury bond. That's $50,000 a year in passive income. Sounds pretty great, right? But let's consider this. Is $50,000 a year enough to quit your job and live comfortably for the rest of your life? Don't forget that $50,000 is pre-tax. Once taxes come out, you're looking at even less. Now, maybe you could be a little bit more creative and invest in dividend stocks, where you might earn more than 5%. But remember, the stock market can be volatile. You could lose money just as easily as you make it. Plus, even if you can make $50,000 a year passively, is that really enough for you to stop working entirely? If not, where are you going to get that $2 million, $3 million, or $4 million to generate a bigger amount of passive income? That's the point I want to make. Passive income is important, but for most people, it's extra money. Think of it as bonus income rather than something that will replace your main paycheck. Now, just because passive income might not replace your day job doesn't mean it's not worth pursuing. In fact, having that supplemental income can be a huge financial safety net, not just financially, but psychologically too. Imagine bringing in an extra $500 a month without lifting a finger. For most people, that would be helpful, right? Now, think about having an extra $1,000 or even $2,000 a month coming in consistently. Now, that's a game changer. It might not make you rich overnight, but it can drastically improve your quality of life. With enough supplemental passive income, you could potentially work less, retire earlier, build more wealth, and feel a lot less stressed about money. So yes, it's worth growing your passive income, but don't have the unrealistic expectation that it will completely replace your primary source of income. Sure, some people have done it and it's definitely possible, but it's rare and it's not easy. If you want to start building passive income, here's some advice based on my own experience. You need to focus on income sources that are safer and require minimal attention. So let's talk about a few options. First up, rental properties. Now, I have rental properties both in the US and abroad, but let me tell you, I do not consider them as passive income. Why? Because true passive income should be stress-free, and you shouldn't have to get involved, right? But with rental properties, you often are. You might not get involved in the day-to-day operations, but you still have to handle legal issues, contractors, or management companies. Sure, you could hire people to handle those things for you, but then you're still involved in managing them. It's not completely hands-off, and to me, that disqualifies it as passive. I define passive income as money that comes in without you having to deal with any of the problems, people, or decisions. Just give me the income for having invested and don't bother me with the details. That's my definition of passive income. Real estate doesn't quite fit that definition for me, but I still invest in it for diversification and because I enjoy it. If you want to include real estate in your passive income stream without the hassle of dealing with tenants and maintenance, consider real estate investment trusts, or REITs. These are companies that own, operate, or finance income-producing real estate. You can buy shares of REITs just like you would any other stock, and they pay you dividends. It's a much more hands-off way to get exposure to real estate, and you can buy and sell them easily in your brokerage account. So, if you're thinking about real estate for passive income, REITs are a solid option that can offer you both income and diversification. One area I recommend avoiding if you're looking for passive income is investing in someone else's small business. Sure, being a silent partner might sound appealing. You throw some money into the business and in theory, you get share of the profits without doing any of the work. But in reality, this is a risky move. From my own experience, most small businesses fail, and if you're not involved in the day-to-day operations, it's hard to keep an eye on how things are going. Even if you want to help someone out by giving them startup money, this is often a fast track to losing that money. But if you do go down this road, make sure you have an extraordinary amount of due diligence before parting with your cash. Let me walk you through my personal philosophy when it comes to passive income. It all starts with proper budgeting. I make sure I spend less than I earn, so now I have a surplus. Now, with that surplus, I want to put my money to work. If I leave it sitting in cash, inflation is gonna eat away at its value. With most of my money, I play it safe. I want to make sure it's in a place where I'm earning a decent return with minimal risk. Right now, in 2024, interest rates are pretty decent, so I have some money in a high-yield savings account earning 5% interest. That's not bad. If interest rates do drop to 2%, 1%, or lower, I'll pull my money out and look for other options. I'll also invest in index funds and ETFs. These investments track the overall market, so I'm not going to try and beat the market with individual stock picks. I just want an average return, and I don't want to lift a finger to manage it. This is long-term money that I'm not planning to touch anytime soon, so I can ride out any short-term market fluctuations. However, I don't put all my surplus money into passive income streams. I also invest in individual stocks and real estate. And while some people criticize me for this, I buy physical gold and silver. For me, that's like an insurance policy just in case something happens to the value of currency or markets. Before you dive headfirst into building passive income, there are a couple of things you need to prioritize. First and foremost, the handling of debt. If you have a high interest debt, you need to focus on paying that off. Credit card debt, auto loans with high rates, or even a 7% mortgage. All of these should take priority over building passive income. Why? Because the interest you're paying on that debt is likely higher than what you'll earn on most passive income investments. Secondly, if you're not already utilizing tax-advantaged retirement accounts like a 401k or an IRA, that should be another priority. The tax benefits and long-term growth potential of these accounts make them an essential foundation for your financial future. At the end of the day, passive income is an important part of my financial strategy, and it should be for you too. But it's just one piece of the puzzle. I don't rely on it to replace my primary income, but I do see it as a valuable safety net. With the right approach and expectations, it can help you build wealth, reduce financial stress, and give you more options in life. Just remember to start with the basics. Pay your own debt, invest in retirement accounts, and only then you can start focusing on passive income streams. Now, if you'd like to learn how to invest in an ETF, make sure to click this one. But don't click on it just yet. Make sure to subscribe if you want to grow your wealth. Okay, I'll see you over there.